Welcome in, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast. We are back again to give you our League of Record KPT BALLAS Week 9 recap and Week 10 preview. It's been a busy week. A lot of things going on in our league, definitely. A lot of standings being shifted around, playoff pushes being made. So we'll get into all of that today. We got some news, breaking news, actually, about an hour ago. We'll do an in and out section, go through our League of Record recap, and we'll even do our midseason awards at the very end. So I'm your host, Brandon Bouchard, joined here by Brett Hamilton, as always.
Hello!
And Kevin Johnson's here.
Hello!
And Peyton's on the couch playing Call of Duty, so...
Nerd!
So anyway, so the breaking news. Well, actually, before we get into the breaking news, got another beer for this episode. Yeehaw! It's our it's local, actually. Local beer from
#buy local.
Johnson City, Tennessee. Shout out to Steele for hooking us up with this. But we got the Yeehaw Pale Ale this week, so I'm gonna crack this baby open. And this is by far my favorite Yeehaw beer. I'm not the biggest fan of Yeehaw,
yeah,
I will admit.
I know.
But I like...
I hear it all the time, and yet you go every week.
I like it. Hey,
free beer is free beer.
free beer, and pale ale is not too bad, so I'll take it. But anyway.
It's pretty hoppy, almost grassy.
Grassy.
I can really taste the grass.
But anyway.
Can we get some extra soil?
Breaking news. About a couple hours ago, obviously this is breaking on Friday, so everyone's already pretty aware of this, but Ezekiel Elliott has his motion for an injunction denied by the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which immediately reinstates his 6-game suspension.
The never-ending story.
Yeah, I still don't know if I can say this is it.
By the time you're listening to this, he's probably already playing.
But apparently, he's not going to... I mean, as of now, he will be suspended this week, and he'll be suspended through Week 15. So he will be back for your Week 16 championship, if that's when your championship is, which it should be. Don't ever play into Week 17, by the way.
It's a trap.
Just don't. So, yeah, I guess Alfred Morris, supposedly the starter. I like Rod Smith more than Darren McFadden, but
yeah,
I don't know. I guess if I was going to rank him, it'd be Morris, Smith, then McFadden. But I think it's going to be kind of a committee. But I still think there's a lot of points to be had because they're a run-based offense,
and they score a lot of points.
Yeah. All right. Packers cut Martellus Bennett with he had a failure to disclose a medical condition, apparently. But Patriots go and swipe him off of waivers, so I guess he's back with the Patriots. Maybe a decent pickup.
I didn't really understand that move. I mean,
they don't have a... He was there before, and they don't have a strong backup tight end, and he's free, essentially. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, we're going to do a little in and out section. Quite a few injuries that are going around right now, so I'll just give you a few names, and you tell me if they're going to be in or out this week. Okay, Des Bryant, dealing with a knee and ankle injury. He says he plans to play. In or out?
Out.
I'll say in.
All right. Charles Clay. He's missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. Started practicing again this week.
All in.
Have they had their bye yet?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
If they've had their bye, then just start practicing this week?
Yes.
I'm going to say out. I'll give them another week.
I think their bye week was week 8.
Was it?
I think.
Either way, I think he's going to be in. Hopefully. I picked him up, so. T.Y. Hilton added to the injury report with a groin injury.
Yeah, he'll play.
I would say he'll play, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, because,
it's
why risk it? Yeah, it's the Colts.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, limited with an ankle injury.
I hope he plays.
I think he'll be fine. He's set out he's been limited every Wednesday this whole season.
Yeah,
so.
true.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Hogan, he's been dealing with a shoulder injury for the past couple weeks. Misses another practice. Do you expect him to play this week?
No, I think he sits out another week.
Yeah, when they first got diagnosed, it was a 2 to 3 week injury, so I think he'll be out one more week.
All right, Julio Jones did not practice with an ankle injury on Thursday.
I think he'll be in. think they're just taking it easy on him.
It is always concerning with Julio and any of his
true.
feet, but I think I'll play.
Emmanuel Sanders, ankle injury. He's been dealing with it for a few weeks. Upgraded to a full participant in practice, though.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Good enough sign. It's usually a shoe-in.
Yeah, sticking with the Broncos, C.J. Anderson been dealing with a knee injury, apparently, and he left practice on Thursday with an illness. So, in or out?
The illness thing is kind of weird.
I'd say it depends on the illness.
I'm going to lean out, but I also saw today that the coach said that they realize that they need to return to being a run-first offense, so that bodes well for C.J. Anderson, but not if he's on the sideline.
Yeah, true. Devontae Booker might be a good sneaky play. I know the Patriots, I think, give up the most receiving yards to running backs, and Devontae Booker's that guy for the Broncos. So.
Yep, that's true.
Good in PPR. All right, one more. Matt Forte dealing with swelling in his knee. Obviously, he had the meniscus surgery last year, and it's swelling in the same knee. So, not only this week, but going forward, how worried are you?
I think I am pretty worried because he's already been out for the turf toe thing.
He just now had his. Last week was his best game of the year. So.
Yeah, but he's already hurt again. So.
Okay, jumping into our KPT BALLAS Week 9 recap. Not much change at the top. Myself sitting at 7-2.
How the mighty have fallen.
and Heather and Kevin are at 6-3. Bush is fourth at 5-4. Matt, Brett, Peyton 4-5.
Coming up the rear.
And Joseph, Steele, and Charles all at 3-6. So no one's really eliminated yet, and no one's really locked a spot yet. So
nope.
I don't know.
We all in this.
This is one of the tightest fantasy seasons we've had so far.
It's been close. There really weren't any close games this week. Pretty much blowouts all around. I know I got blown out by Joseph. It was it was very
ugly.
But
thank Jared Cook.
Yeah, freaking Jared Cook.
Jared Goff.
He had 12 points in the first drive.
He had 80 yards in the first drive.
Yeah, Joseph, he put the beat down on me.
Yeah.
But here we go. I got awards for the week. Got 3 awards to give out. 3 awards to only 2 people. I just realized that when I gave out. Alright, pickup of the week I'm giving to Matt. Picked up Robert Woods, who had 19 points. Definitely helped him in his...
Gave me a scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got I got, I guess, 3 people won awards. I doubled up on this one. The A Little Too Late award, which is for those people who saw that their players were injured or out and didn't have time to switch them out. This is going to Matt, and it's also going to Peyton. I see you over there, Peyton.
Who did Peyton leave out?
Peyton kept Kelvin. He kept Kelvin Benjamin in.
Night,
yeah, obviously he didn't play.
He didn't play Peyton.
And Matt left in Leonard Fournette, who also did not play.
It was a welcome sight to me as I was playing him.
Yeah, that was a
I'll
very
take that
decided.
one.
Matt was mad. Oh my gosh, Matt was mad.
That was only an hour before kickoff too.
Yeah,
so,
and it was
had to be quick.
It wasn't an injury, so it was just he didn't show up for a photo op. So
yeah.
All right, last award, Unreal Combination Award, going to Joseph for Jared Goff and Alvin Kamara. They combined for 53 fantasy points.
Wow.
That was pretty much the deciding factor in our game. I'm pretty sure he beat me by about 53 fantasy points. So it was ugly. All right, moving into our waiver wire ads of the week. Not too many. The waiver wire was kind of slim pickings this week, but
yeah.
I picked up Charles Clay and Thomas Rawls. Steele picked up Matt Forte, Dion Lewis. Kevin picks up Danny Woodhead, and I think you picked up Rod Smith today, didn't you?
I did pick up Rod Smith.
Yeah.
I picked up a kicker because I'm keeping base god Jake Elliott, of course, but subsequently dropped my kicker after the Zeke Elliott news. And if I need a kicker, I'll pick up a Monday night one. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then Brett picks up Ben Roethlisberger and Marquise Goodwin. All right, Week 10 matchups. We'll go through those real quick, and then we'll get into the midseason awards. So Week 10 matchups, I will be playing Steele. Kevin will go up against Joseph. Bush is playing Brett. Matt versus Charles. And then, last but not least, Heather versus Peyton. So
she's going to murder him.
No doubt.
All right, so mid-season awards. Here we go. We got 6 categories. We got our MVP of the halfway point, our bust, our biggest surprise, our best performance, our breakout, and our rookie of the year. So, I know a few of these are probably going to overlap with us.
It's just because we're all smart.
Yeah. We try to switch it up as much as possible, but anyway. Okay. I'm gonna go in a different order. We'll save the MVP for last.
Okay.
First, we'll do biggest surprise of the year. Biggest surprise. Who you guys got?
Mine was North Dakota tough Carson Wentz. Coming into his second year, no one expected very much out of the Eagles, but he's the highest scorer in fantasy right now. Definitely won you a couple leagues. I know I drafted Andrew Luck, and so I was streaming quarterbacks for the first couple of weeks, hoping Andrew Luck would come back. And somehow I just came across Carson Wentz, picked him up, and I never dropped him again.
Earlier in the year, before the season started, I ended up drafting Drew Brees and Cam Newton, and I was trying to fish Cam Newton out to people or Drew Brees out to people because I wanted to pick up Carson Wentz because he just looked good to me last year, and the Eagles look like they had a good roster, and sure enough,
they do.
I missed out on the boat. But yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Who's your
my
biggest surprise? Yeah.
Surprise is the grill wearing VFL Alvin Kamara. He was coming into the season. He was third on the depth chart behind Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson. Yeah. He was an afterthought after those two names.
Yeah.
We all thought it was going to be Ingram and Peterson just being elite, but can't predict Sean Payton. So Kamara is looking like the real deal, and he fits in that Saints offense like a glove. So
yeah,
my biggest surprise of the year so far, Jared Goff. I think next year we're going to be talking about him like we're talking about Carson Wentz now. I don't think Jared Goff is as talented or as good of a quarterback as Carson Wentz, but I have a ton of faith in Sean McVay and what he can bring to the table. So biggest surprise.
Good.
And Goff has been producing pretty much all year. One of the best streamers available on any week.
If he's available now.
Yeah. All right. Next one we'll do best performance of the year. Who you guys got for that?
I'm gonna go Amari Cooper. Same. 1 week.
Yeah.
It was a very impressive week. Coming off a lot of really poor weeks.
Yeah, I think that's why I wrote it down because he was. If he didn't have that game, we'd be talking about him in the bust category. But because of that game, he made people more confident in him that he's still. It's my philosophy in fantasy that you bet on talent more than you do on anything else. Amari Cooper is one of the best football players on the planet, so he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch balls. He's gonna get that out of his head. So that game showed us that he is still a freak of nature. So
yeah. My best performance award is gonna go to Kareem Hunt. Week 1. 40 points.
Yeah, it was pretty absurd for a first game.
I'm not going to argue with that
first
one.
Game. And the best part about that entire game was that he fumbled on his first carry.
Yeah, and the Twitter sphere was like, oh, he's done.
Yeah.
Everybody halt.
And then he comes out and does what we all saw, and it was incredible. So, yeah, that's my best performance award. We'll move into bust of the year. Who you got? Did we all agree on this one?
Yes, but we probably have some honorable mentions.
Okay, yeah. But bust of the year, I think we all agreed on Terrell Pryor.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype boat.
No, there was so much hype going in for him, and it's awful.
Yeah, well, he was sometimes sneaking in the second and third rounds of drafts.
Yeah.
You could, honestly, looking back, you could see this coming a mile away. He's not a receiver.
Yeah, hindsight's always
he's just not a receiver.
2020.
It's like I just said, believe in talent as a football player, not an athlete. Yes, Terrell Pryor is an insane athlete.
Yeah.
But, he's played receiver for 1 year.
Yeah.
Honestly,
on the Browns.
You can't learn that position in a year.
The Terrell Pryor shifting from being a mediocre, actually not even mediocre, a terrible quarterback to a mediocre wide receiver, I'd honestly have more faith than like LeBron James coming into the NFL and getting into this role.
I'd draft LeBron James as a tight end in the first round, no question.
But anyway, who's your honorable mention? Bust?
Jay Ajayi. I have him as an honorable mention for the sole reason that yes, he's probably lost you a lot of weeks if you drafted him in the first maybe second round and are still rostering him, but he's now on the Eagles, and we saw with him getting 8 carries, what he did with those behind probably the best offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
So better days are for sure ahead for Jay Ajayi.
He already looks better than Blunt.
Yeah, I
don't even think that's a question.
That's not saying a lot.
That's true.
There were 4 rushing touchdowns scored in that game, and
Corey Clement, baby.
yeah, Corey Clement will not
How about
be.
them Badgers?
Corey Clement
Oh my
will not
gosh.
be getting 12 carries in the coming weeks. So they're on bye right now. Jay Ajayi's future is very bright.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We did... Yeah, okay, Breakout. Breakout of the year. It's kind of similar to Biggest Surprise, but I don't know. My breakout of the year, I'm going with Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
He's been like close.
Long time coming.
Yeah, he's been close for a while. He's been dealing with injuries in the past. I know he's got the hamstring injury right now, but so far this year, Zach Ertz has been arguably one of the best. He has a case for honestly MVP.
When you can consistently count on 9+ points from the tight end position, you are at such an advantage. I mean, you can look at Brandon's team. Brandon is top in our league, and I think if you look at your league, look at the owner has Zach Ertz, and unless their team is abysmal, otherwise they're probably in the playoff contention.
Yeah, he's helped a ton, but he's finally showing that he can actually stay healthy. Hopefully. Knock on wood. Stay healthy and produce at the tight end position. I think if you put him in wide receivers, I think he'd be number 4 at the wide receiver position.
Wow.
So I mean, that's all we used to talk about when because Gronk was the only guy there doing that for a while. Him and Jimmy Graham, and we talked about him in relevance to wide receivers.
Yeah,
that's basically how you grade tight ends, honestly.
Yeah.
So, who's your breakout, guys?
My breakout was Mark Ingram. I know this pick was going to make Brandon happy. So
He's broken out before.
Well, this is
not to this extent.
Not to this extent. I've not seen him run like this before.
He's been a top 15 back for 3 straight years.
Okay,
That's but
oh
not on
this is different.
You can be a top 15 back if you play 16 games. He's been healthy for the past 3 seasons.
They're actually working. They're actually running the ball.
Yeah, he
Drew Brees' show is passing the ball at a much lower rate than he has been in the past decade.
And most of those half those passes are screens now.
Yeah.
So
this is not taking anything away from Kamara because they're getting almost a split workload.
I mean, you can just look at the first 4 weeks when it was Ingram and then a little bit of Peterson and Kamara, just a little bit of Kamara, and see Ingram's production, and then that's what you could see for the past Mark Ingram, and then look at ever since the Peterson trade, and he's been the 3rd best running back in fantasy. Yeah, because of that.
And he has been the second.
He looks like he looks like a different guy, and that may be something to do with play calling, of course, but he does look very good.
Yeah.
My breakout is Carson Wentz. We already talked about him, but he is
North Dakota. Tough.
He's been just spot on, great NFL quarterback, great fantasy quarterback, just lighting up points.
One of my favorite players.
He's really
fun to watch. You can tell the whole team loves him. The Eagles are going to be good for we're going to be talking about Carson Wentz for a long time.
Yes. I think that offense is the only one in the league right now. There were a couple of weeks ago that has scored a touchdown every time they've been inside the 5, and they also have the highest percentage of passes Zach Ertz inside the 5.
Well, and that shows how much they've been in the 5 because as of the Jay Ajayi trade, they also had the most run attempts inside the 5. And
they're pretty much always inside the 5.
And they were also very bad at those, which is why Zach Ertz is also an MVP.
True.
Yeah, Eagles are looking very, very scary right now.
Yeah.
Clearly the best team in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. All right, Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, I think we had a few, or I think at least one of us agreed. Who's your Rookie of the Year, Brett?
I wanted to say Deshaun Watson. Obviously, he's done for the year, but he was on a record-setting pace, and I'm just really sad that we don't get to watch him every Sunday. But I'm going to go Leonard Fournette. I mean, it's very rare that you see a running back like this come into the league as a rookie and be able to handle a completely full workload. I mean, there's no one else there. And do what he's been able to do. I know he sat out this past week, but up until then, I mean, he was just... And it is a run-first offense. They don't want Blake Bortles running the ball or passing the ball for good reason. But he's been able, I mean, to have that level of trust in a rookie like that is just it's been something pretty special to watch, and I just hope he stays healthy and doesn't miss any more photo ops.
I think me and Brandon are in agreement on this one. Deshaun Watson. Granted, he is out for the season, regrettably, but he was just absurd from week 2 on when he got the starting job.
He won you multiple games there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredible to watch. Just he was just electric. I mean, you can look at DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Miller, Will Fuller's production and see the effect of him on that team. So
he didn't lose a single beat from college. It's remarkable.
Same with Leonard Fournette too. I mean, the first thing we heard of Leonard Fournette in preseason was the NFL is slow and easy. So, and I believe it. He is scary fast. Yeah. he is a generational talent, as is Deshaun Watson. Watson, 3 guys we mentioned today, Watson, Goff, and Wentz are going to be the new Brady, Manning, Rodgers.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them for years.
Yeah. I do want to mention. I thought of this while we were going through these, but Rookie of the Year, it's mainly at his position and what he's because the tight end class this past draft was incredible. We could go on and on about the tight ends, but Evan Ingram has shown up in a very, very big way.
Yeah,
and I mean he's arguably a top 5 tight end from here on out the rest of the season. He's fine. I don't say he's mid-season because obviously he didn't get really going until the last couple games.
Until their entire wide receiver core died.
Yeah, but Evan Ingram is a fantastic tight end.
And you see this often with tight ends. They start slow. I mean, Zach Ertz, Travis Kelce, all these guys, they have to be in the league a couple years to get their bearings. But yeah, his talent, raw talent level, is absurd. He looks like a big old wide receiver running out there. Dude, he is going to be a freak.
He's on pace to set a lot of rookie tight end records. He's having a better year than Gronk's first year.
That's what I was asking. I was about to ask. What's the touchdown record for? Because I know Gronk has it. I don't know the exact number.
I don't know about touchdowns. I know he's far better in yards.
Yeah, I expect.
He's had multiple 100-yard games.
I mean, he's had 4 straight games with a touchdown. So if that keeps up. All right. The big one. Here we go. MVP, midseason MVP award, and this. See, I'll tell you mine. And clearly, this guy could easily be in Rookie of the Year. He could be in Biggest Surprise, Breakout. Obviously, we mentioned him in Best Performance earlier, but MVP of the Year, Kareem Hunt. Yeah. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing. He hasn't even had, or he's number 1 in fantasy for running backs. He hasn't had a touchdown in 4 or 5 weeks, which I mean that might be you say he's fallen off. He's just crumbling from his 40-point performance, but he's still producing without the touchdowns. He's getting arguably. I mean, he fell off the last couple games, but so far,
don't get down on him.
Yeah, if you're looking for the first 8 games as a whole. I mean, how do you pick? I don't know how you pick anyone else other than Kareem Hunt for the MVP so far this season.
I will correct you. Kareem Hunt is the 3rd scoring running back in fantasy at the moment.
Is he?
Behind Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott. And speaking of,
they had big
Gurley
games last
is
week.
my MVP, and Kareem Hunt was bad last week. Todd Gurley is my MVP. He has been just insane. Like had that one slump week against Seattle, but other than that, he has been just tearing through like every team he's played. And I think a big proponent of that is because he has been way more involved in the passing game, which has fit his running style so well. Because when you get him in the open field, he is just a menace. And I will say that I was wrong on the selling him high and all that earlier in the season. Like his talent and the Rams offense is better than I expected it.
It's
is
the real deal. Yeah, at the very beginning of the season, like I know, especially me and Peyton were all on board for the Todd Gurley train. We were saying draft the guy. I mean, he's going to be the real deal. And then we saw he did. I mean, we saw what he did at the beginning of the year, and then we saw the schedule upcoming, and we were like, okay, now is the time to sell. So I guess we need to stick to our guns and just be like, ride the guy out. I didn't expect this young team with a young head coach to actually keep this up, but man, they're showing that they easily can.
And no matter what the game script is going to be, Todd Gurley's going to be involved in it. He's shown that.
Yeah, and
no matter what the scoreboard says, he's going to get the ball.
That's the best part. Obviously, we've seen a lot of teams in the NFL switch to like multiple back situations. There is nobody,
never once. There's not even a question.
And he is
and that's rare.
He is in the elite group with like Zeke and Le'Veon and Melvin Gordon and LaShawn McCoy. They are true 3-down backs. Like they do not come out of the game except for like the random rest. And I will say that though Kareem Hunt is absurd and has been a MVP caliber player, he is not in that category. He is not a true 3-down back. And we saw this last week when he played like 56% of snaps.
Granted, he should be.
Oh, I mean, there's no doubting that.
Andy Reid needs to wake up.
But you have seen his production regress. So, but yeah, just Todd Gurley's great. That's all I gotta say.
Who's your MVP, Britt? Last one.
DeAndre Hopkins. This one's going to be... I wanted to mention this because this might be the last time to mention him in an MVP category.
Very true, very true.
But he has definitely won you games this year. Whenever DeAndre Hopkins came in, he was just getting so many yards. He's getting the touchdowns. Obviously, Will Fuller was getting a lot of touchdowns too. But... this is a guy that we've all believed in. He was drafted high because he has some of the best talent.
I wouldn't say that because people were terrified of drafting DeAndre Hopkins.
Really, I wasn't.
Well, he felt. But compare the year before he was drafted in the first round. This year he was falling into the third and fourth.
But that was only because of quarterback.
Yeah, it's because
issues.
Tom Savage.
Well, that's why it's a perfect MVP candidate.
And that's why he slumped last year was because. His talent's not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
But he had no one throwing him the ball,
which is eerily similar to what it's going to look like the second half of the season. Unfortunately,
not much faith in Tom Savage.
No.
All right. Before we close it out, any other things we want to talk about, guys?
I want to go back. I got a couple of stats on the rookie tight ends.
Yes.
They have historically struggled.
Oh yeah, that's without question.
Let's see. Only 26 rookie tight ends in their first year have recorded over 500 yards, passing yards. And then this is
Can we name them all?
No, oh my gosh. This is an interesting stat. This doesn't really apply to Evan Ingram because he's not in his second year yet. But since 2004, only 5 players have recorded at least 900 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns in their second year. But those tight ends are Antonio Gates, Jason Witten, Jimmy Graham, and Rob Gronkowski.
I've heard of a few of those guys.
Pretty good.
All you need is Tony Gonzalez, and that's a pretty good top 5 of all time list.
Yep. So pretty much if Evan Ingram continues what he's doing into the next year, he's pretty much locked and loaded to be a really good tight end for a long time.
And I fully expect it to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we might not have Eli as a quarterback.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. I think we were talking to Steele a few hours ago at the bar, talking about what the Giants will probably do with their top
Potential
pick.
number one draft pick.
Potential. Browns are still getting the number one. Come on now. But
Josh Gordon's coming back.
I mean, but the high pick that the Giants will receive, I assume they'll pick one of these top quarterbacks. I still have a very strong opinion about not taking these quarterbacks that high because we still haven't seen there's been a few cases where it's like obviously like Andrew Luck and Carson Wentz,
And
even Jared Goff. Apparently,
you weren't a fan of Wentz or Goff either. So.
No, I was more a fan of Wentz than Goff. I didn't think Goff would do anything, but
you weren't the only one.
Yeah, I'm being proven wrong.
Yeah,
but I don't know. One of these quarterbacks has got to work. Obviously, they're very, very highly touted, and Giants. I assume we're going to pick one of them. I don't really know which one it's going to be yet. Maybe at the end of the year we'll do like a draft segment. But at this point, I don't know. Giants. I assume we're going to take a quarterback. I don't have faith in Davis Webb, who they already have.
So are they going to get rid of their owner or the coach?
Probably.
I saw a report today that Ben McAdoo is like going to be fired.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was. It's on the verge. Yeah, it was like the Giants came out and said they have no plans to fire the coach or the GM before the end of the season. Yeah. So that
there's no point. Like their season is over. It's just, they're probably better off draft pick wise keeping Ben McAdoo. So.
I don't even know who's available anymore. Obviously we saw McVay.
Butch Jones will be soon.
Oh my gosh, we saw the young guy McVay go to the Rams, but I don't really. And we saw Shanahan go to the Niners, but really,
might be time for Nick Saban to step up to the league.
He will never go back.
There's always a dollar amount.
Everything is for sale.
He's getting paid a ton at Bama.
Everything is for sale.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's not good enough to coach in the NFL, Brandon? I agree.
No, I don't think he's good enough to coach in the NFL. Not at all.
He's a very good recruiter.
There's a very big difference from college game to the NFL game, and especially just recruiting for one and coaching kids. Because they're still, they still, even the kids look at themselves as kids most of the time.
Yeah.
They're like high school students, basically.
When you're not getting paid a salary, your psyche is just a lot different.
Yeah, that's why Jim Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh, Chip Kelly, they're the guys that are just meant for the college game, not the pro game. And we've seen it multiple times. But anyway.
A quick shout out to Peyton being really bad at Call of Duty.
I see you struggling over there, sir.
With that KD dodo.
All right, so anyway, that's our show for today. Just a reminder, go check out our previous two shows from the week. We got our Week 9 recap and our Week 10 preview. Got our starts and sits over there. Obviously, I'm not even going to ask about the beer because Pale Ale.
It's great.
It's great. Pale Ale, yeehaw.
Grassy.
Again, we do not take money from these people. We just like drinking their beer.
But we will take money from them. If
we're not opposed.
We're not opposed from free beer. Right, anyway, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the423football and Facebook. Like us on Facebook. If you want to see all of our up-to-date news, leave your comments and questions. And more important than anything, don't be greedy with your fantasy football knowledge. Share us with the world. Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.
Sit camping, Peyton.